Austin, Texas, known for its vibrant music scene, hip culture, and thriving tech industry. But beyond the modern bustle and lively streets, there lies a darker side to this city. Beneath its charming surface, Austin is home to stories of the unknown, the unexplained, and the terrifying. From haunted hotels to cursed landmarks, there's more to this city than meets the eye. Welcome, my friends, to another chilling episode of Haunted Austin. The camera slowly zooms into an old, crumbling building, fog swirling around its base. A faint shadow moves in the upper floor. The Driskill Hotel, a haunted legacy in the heart of Austin, Texas, stands a monument to opulence and history. The Driskill Hotel. Built in 1886 by cattle baron Jesse Driskill, this architectural marvel has long been celebrated as one of America's most luxurious hotels. Its marble floors gleam under crystal chandeliers, its grand staircases whisper tales of elegance, and its halls echo with stories from another time. But beneath its polished exterior lies a darker legacy, a tapestry woven with tragedy, despair, and restless spirits that as evening falls over downtown Austin, the hotel transforms into something otherworldly. Shadows flicker across ornate wallpaper, and faint whispers seem to drift through the corridors like ghostly echoes of the past. For those who dare to stay or work within its walls, the Driskill is more than just a place of luxury. It is a haunted haven where the dead refuse to rest. One of the most infamous legends tied to the Driskill involves the spirit of a young bride whose dreams turned to ashes on what should have been the happiest day of her life. It was the early 20th century when the hotel played host to an extravagant wedding celebration. The bride, radiant in her gown, prepared for the ceremony with anticipation and joy. Her fiancé, however, never showed up. Whether he fled out of cowardice, betrayal, or some unknown reason remains unclear. What is known is that the devastated bride locked herself in room 404, now famously referred to as the bride's room, and took her own life. Since that fateful night, guests staying on the 4th floor have reported eerie occurrences. Footsteps can be heard pacing back and forth outside their doors late at night, though no one is there. Some claim to see the shadowy figure of a woman in a tattered wedding dress gliding down the hallway, her veil trailing behind her like a ghostly train. Others swear they felt an overwhelming sense of sadness seeping through the walls, as if the air itself mourns her loss. On rare occasions, visitors report hearing muffled sobs emanating from room 404, a haunting reminder of the bride's tragic end. But the bride isn't the only presence haunting the Driskill. Another chilling tale revolves around a little girl whose laughter rings through the lobby but leaves listeners cold. According to legend, the child died under mysterious circumstances during the hotel's early years. No records exist detailing how she met her untimely demise, but her spirit lingers still. Staff members often recount sightings of a small figure in a frilly Victorian-era dress playing with an old-fashioned ball near the grand staircase. At first glance, the scene appears innocent enough, a child amusing herself in the lavish surroundings, but closer inspection reveals something unsettling. The girl's movements are jerky, unnatural, and her laughter carries an edge that sends shivers down even the bravest spine. Guests seated in the lobby have described feeling an inexplicable chill as the sound grows louder, only to stop abruptly, leaving behind an oppressive silence. Some say the girl's spirit is trapped in the hotel, unable to move on due to the trauma of her death. Others believe she simply enjoys playing pranks on unsuspecting visitors, hiding belongings or causing lights to flicker without warning. Regardless of her motives, encounters with the spectral child leave many questioning whether the Driskill's beauty masks a sinister truth. Beyond these well-known hauntings, countless other strange events have occurred throughout the hotel's storied history. Employees speak of elevators moving between floors without anyone inside, doors slamming shut on their own, and the distinct sensation of being watched while working alone late at night. One particularly unnerving incident involved a housekeeper who entered a guest room to find all the furniture rearranged into a perfect circle, as if some unseen force had orchestrated the bizarre display. Even the hotel's famous bar, the Driskill Grill, isn't immune to paranormal activity. Patrons seated at the bar have reported seeing reflections in the mirror that don't match the people sitting before them. Glasses of water inexplicably tip over, spilling their contents onto the polished wood surface. And then there's the piano in the corner, an antique instrument that occasionally plays soft, melancholic melodies despite having no visible player nearby. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Driskill continues to attract curious travelers eager to experience its eerie allure firsthand. Ghost tours regularly include the hotel as a highlight, drawing crowds fascinated by its blend of luxury and supernatural intrigue. Paranormal investigators armed with cameras and recording devices frequent the premises, hoping to capture definitive proof of the lingering spirits. Yet, for all the attention it receives, the Driskill remains enigmatic, guarding its secrets closely. For those brave enough to spend a night within its walls, the experience is unforgettable. The weight of history presses heavily on every creaking floorboard and echoing hallway. Some leave shaken, convinced they've encountered something beyond explanation. Others depart enchanted, captivated by the hotel's unique charm and timeless elegance. But none forget the feeling that they're sharing the space with entities unseen. Today, the Driskill stands not only as a symbol of Texas hospitality, but also as a testament to the enduring power of memory. Its grandeur may dazzle the eye, but its shadows hold secrets that defy understanding. Beneath its glittering facade lies a labyrinth of sorrow, longing, and unresolved grief, a fitting tribute to the lives forever intertwined with its legacy. As you walk through its hallowed halls, listen closely. You might hear the distant echo of footsteps, the chilling peal of laughter, or the faint strains of a phantom melody. These remnants of the past serve as both a warning and an invitation. The Driskill welcomes all who enter, but beware, for once inside, you may never truly leave. The Texas State Capitol, the ghosts of government standing tall and proud in the heart of Austin, the Texas State Capitol is a monument to power, history, and ambition. Completed in 1888, this grand structure has witnessed over a century of political drama, legislative battles, and monumental decisions that have shaped the Lone Star State. Yet beneath its majestic dome and towering limestone walls lies a darker narrative, one whispered about in hushed tones by staff, security guards, and even curious visitors. For many believe that the spirits of those who once walked these halls refuse to leave, their presence lingering like an unspoken promise or unfinished business. As dusk settles over the city, casting long shadows across the Capitol grounds, the building transforms into something otherworldly. Its corridors grow eerily quiet, save for the occasional creak of wood or distant echo of footsteps that seem to come from nowhere, and no one. Those brave enough to venture inside after hours often describe an unsettling feeling, as though they are being watched by eyes unseen. And sometimes, they swear they catch glimpses of shadowy figures moving through the dimly lit halls. One of the most enduring legends involves the ghost of a former state legislator who met a tragic end within the Capitol's walls. Little is known about his life, but rumors suggest he was embroiled in a bitter political feud that ultimately led to his demise. Some say he suffered a fatal heart attack during a heated debate in the House of Representatives chamber. Others claim foul play was involved. Whatever the truth may be, his spirit is said to haunt the very halls where he once fought for his ideals. At night, when the building should be empty, maintenance workers and security personnel report hearing distinct footsteps echoing through the corridors. These sounds are often accompanied by the faint murmur of voices, as if debates from another era continue to rage on in spectral form. On rare occasions, witnesses describe seeing the translucent figure of a man dressed in old-fashioned attire standing near the entrance to the House chamber. His expression is unreadable, yet there is an air of determination about him, as though he remains steadfast in his mission to make his voice heard, even beyond death. Staff members recount eerie encounters with doors opening and closing on their own, particularly late at night when the building is supposed to be locked tight. One chilling account describes a janitor who entered a room only to find all the chairs rearranged into a perfect circle around the central table, a setup reminiscent of historical legislative sessions. When he turned to leave, the door slammed shut behind him, trapping him inside until help arrived hours later. Though skeptics dismiss such stories as mere coincidences or tricks of the mind, those who work in the Capitol cannot ignore the pervasive sense of unease that permeates its halls. But the paranormal activity isn't confined to the interior of the building. Outside, atop the iconic steps leading up to the Capitol's main entrance, shadowy figures have been spotted standing silently, gazing out over the sprawling grounds below. Witnesses describe these apparitions as indistinct shapes cloaked in darkness, their forms flickering like candlelight before vanishing without a trace. Are they the restless spirits of lawmakers past, still keeping watch over the state they served? Or do they represent something more sinister, entities drawn to the energy of power and conflict that permeates the capital? Some believe these figures are remnants of the Civil War era, when Texas grappled with its place in a divided nation. Others speculate they belong to victims of violent crimes committed on the grounds, their deaths lost to time but not forgotten by the land itself. Regardless of their origins, sightings of these ghostly sentinels serve as a stark reminder that the capital's history is far richer and darker than what appears in textbooks. Among the most spine-chilling tales associated with the capital is that of the Phantom Bell. During construction of the building, workers unearthed an old church bell buried deep beneath the foundation. Superstitious laborers claimed it belonged to a long-abandoned settlement and warned against disturbing it. Ignoring their protests, officials decided to incorporate the bell into the capital's design, mounting it in the belfry high above the rotunda. Since then, visitors and employees alike have reported hearing the bell tolling at odd hours, despite the fact that it hasn't been rung manually in decades. Some interpret the sound as a warning, while others see it as a call to action, a reminder of the weight of responsibility carried by those who govern. Even the capital's basement, rarely seen by the public, is rumored to harbor secrets best left undisturbed. Maintenance crews tasked with repairing pipes or electrical systems down there often return pale and shaken, refusing to speak of what they've encountered. Whispers abound of cold spots so intense they feel like icy fingers brushing against the skin, disembodied whispers urging intruders to leave, and fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures darting just out of sight. Few dare to descend into the bowels of the building alone, and fewer still admit to doing so willingly. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Texas state capitol continues to draw tourists, historians, and thrill-seekers eager to explore its storied halls. Guided tours highlight its architectural splendor and rich history, but guides occasionally share tidbits about its supernatural side, delighting those fascinated by the macabre. Paranormal investigators armed with cameras and recording devices frequently visit, hoping to capture definitive proof of the lingering spirits. Yet, for all the attention it receives, the capital remains enigmatic, guarding its secrets closely. For those who work or visit the building regularly, the line between myth and reality blurs over time. Is that creak of the floorboards truly just the settling of an old structure, or is it the footstep of a ghost? Does the chill running down your spine stem from the air conditioning, or does it signal the presence of something unseen? These questions linger in the minds of many, unanswered but ever present. Today, the Texas state capitol stands not only as a symbol of governance but also as a testament to the enduring power of memory. Beneath its gleaming dome and polished floors lie layers of sorrow, ambition, and unresolved conflict, a fitting tribute to the lives forever intertwined with its legacy. As you walk through its hallowed halls, listen closely. You might hear the distant toll of a phantom bell, the soft murmur of voices debating issues long since resolved, or the faint shuffle of footsteps following you from behind. These remnants of the past serve as both a warning and an invitation. The capital welcomes all who enter, but beware, for once inside, you may never truly leave. The Oakwood Cemetery, where the dead still walk nestled just beyond the vibrant pulse of modern Austin, lies a place frozen in time, Oakwood Cemetery. Established in 1839, this sprawling burial ground is one of the oldest in Texas, its weathered tombstones and gnarled oak trees standing as silent witnesses to centuries of life, loss, and memory. Yet beneath its serene surface, Oakwood harbors secrets that defy explanation, a realm where the boundary between the living and the dead blurs into shadowy uncertainty. As twilight descends over the city, the cemetery transforms. The golden hues of sunset give way to an eerie stillness, broken only by the rustle of leaves or the distant hoot of an owl. For those brave enough to venture within after dark, Oakwood reveals itself not merely as a resting place for the departed but as a haunting labyrinth where the dead refuse to remain buried. Visitors who wander through the rows of graves often report seeing figures moving among the tombstones, apparitions that materialize without warning and vanish just as swiftly. Among these spectral presences, none are more frequently encountered than the enigmatic woman in white. Clad in a flowing gown that seems to shimmer like moonlight on water, she drifts silently between the markers, her face obscured by a veil of sorrow. Some say she's searching for something, or someone, but what exactly remains a mystery. Her movements are slow and deliberate, as though retracing steps from another era. Witnesses describe feeling an inexplicable urge to follow her, only to find themselves utterly alone when they blink or turn away. Local lore suggests the woman may have been a grieving widow or a jilted lover whose heartbreak transcended death itself. Others believe she was once a resident of Austin, laid to rest in Oakwood under tragic circumstances. Whatever the truth, her presence evokes a profound sense of melancholy, leaving those who encounter her with a lingering ache they cannot explain. Yet the woman in white is not the only restless spirit said to haunt Oakwood. Perhaps the most unsettling figure is that of a man clad in tattered Civil War-era uniform. His appearance is both pitiable and unnerving. His clothes hang in shreds, stained with dirt and blood long since dried. He moves with a weary gait, his head bowed as if burdened by an invisible weight. Many believe he is the ghost of a Confederate soldier who died far from home during the war, his body interred in Oakwood while his soul remains trapped in perpetual limbo. Encounters with the soldier are rare but deeply affecting. Visitors recount spotting him near the older sections of the cemetery, where many veterans of the Civil War lie buried. He lingers at the edge of sight, peering into the distance as though scanning the horizon for comrades who will never return. Those who dare approach him describe an overwhelming sense of sadness emanating from his form, a despair so palpable it chills the air around them. Occasionally he speaks, though his words are faint and disjointed, carried away by the wind before they can be fully understood. Most hauntingly, some claim to hear him calling out names, as if attempting to muster soldiers lost to time. Theories abound regarding why his spirit remains tethered to Oakwood. Some suggest he died awaiting orders that never came, forever stranded in a state of anticipation. Others propose he seeks closure, yearning to reunite with fellow soldiers whose graves he cannot find. Regardless of the reason, his presence serves as a stark reminder of the toll war takes, not only on bodies but on souls. Beyond these individual specters, Oakwood as a whole exudes an atmosphere of quiet unease. The cemetery's ancient oaks stretch their twisted branches toward the heavens, their gnarled roots clawing deep into the earth, as if holding fast to secrets buried below. Shadows seem darker here, and sounds take on an unnatural quality. The crunch of gravel underfoot echoes louder, the whisper of wind feels closer, and the occasional caw of a crow pierces the silence like a knife. Tour guides leading nighttime excursions through the grounds share tales of strange phenomena reported by visitors and staff alike. Tombstones have been found toppled overnight, despite no signs of vandalism or foul play. Footprints appear in fresh snow or dew-soaked grass, leading nowhere and disappearing abruptly. And then there are the disembodied voices, soft murmurs heard when no one else is nearby, speaking words too faint to decipher yet undeniably human. One particularly chilling account involves a family visiting the grave of a loved one late one evening. As they stood together in prayer, they noticed movement out of the corner of their eyes. Turning, they saw a group of shadowy figures gathered several rows away, standing motionless among the graves. The figures showed no features, no defining characteristics, just vague outlines against the dim light of the moon. When the family blinked, the apparitions were gone, leaving behind an oppressive silence that made the hair on their necks stand on end. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, Oakwood Cemetery draws curiosity seekers, historians, and paranormal enthusiasts year-round. Ghost tours weave through its winding paths, recounting stories of tragedy and unexplained encounters. Paranormal investigators armed with cameras and audio recorders roam its grounds at night, hoping to capture evidence of the supernatural. Yet for all the attention it receives, Oakwood remains enigmatic, guarding its mysteries closely. For locals, the cemetery is both revered and feared, a sacred space steeped in history yet tinged with an otherworldly aura. Its beauty is undeniable, but so too is its power to unsettle. Whether visiting during daylight hours or venturing inside after dusk, one cannot help but feel watched by unseen eyes. The sensation grows stronger near certain graves, as if the spirits lying beneath recognize the intrusion and stir in response. Today, Oakwood Cemetery stands as a testament to the fragility of life and the persistence of memory. Beneath its moss-covered stones and crumbling monuments lie countless untold stories, tales of love, loss, sacrifice, and regret. But it is also a place where the past refuses to stay buried, where the echoes of lives long extinguished continue to resonate. As you walk its winding paths, listen closely. You might hear the soft rustle of fabric as the woman in white passes by, her search unending. Or catch the faint sound of boots crunching gravel, belonging to a soldier eternally seeking his brothers in arms. These remnants of the past serve as both a warning and an invitation. Oakwood welcomes all who enter, but beware, for once inside, you may find yourself unwilling, or unable, to leave. The Moonlight Tower, the haunting of Austin's skyline rising like skeletal sentinels above the cityscape. Austin's Moonlight Towers stand as relics of a bygone era. Erected in the late 19th century to illuminate the streets below, these towering structures were once symbols of progress and innovation. Today, only 17 remain, scattered throughout the city, their wrought iron frames casting long shadows under the Texas sun. But for all their historical charm, one tower in particular has earned a reputation far darker than its counterparts, a place where whispers of tragedy and restless spirits linger in the air. Standing over 150 feet tall, this particular Moonlight Tower looms ominously on the outskirts of downtown, its rusted metal gleaming faintly in the moonlight. To most, it is simply an architectural marvel, a piece of living history. Yet those who know its secrets speak of something more sinister lurking within its shadowy heights. For this tower is said to be haunted, its steel beams and bolts forever entwined with the souls of those who perished during its construction. The legend begins with a young man named Elias, a worker tasked with assembling the towering structure when it was first erected. According to local lore, Elias was ambitious and eager to prove himself, often volunteering for the most dangerous jobs despite warnings from his fellow laborers. One fateful night, while securing a light fixture near the top of the tower, tragedy struck. A sudden gust of wind knocked him off balance, sending him plummeting to the ground below. His death was swift and tragic, leaving behind a family shattered by grief and a community shaken by loss. But Elias's story didn't end there. Almost immediately after the accident, strange occurrences began to plague the area surrounding the tower. Workers reported hearing disembodied screams echoing through the night, cries so piercing they seemed to reverberate deep within the bones of anyone nearby. At first, these sounds were dismissed as tricks of the wind or echoes of the bustling city. But as time passed, the phenomenon grew impossible to ignore. Locals claimed that Elias's spirit remains tethered to the tower, unable, or unwilling, to leave the site of his untimely demise. On quiet nights, when the hum of traffic fades and the stars stretch endlessly across the sky, some say you can see him perched atop the structure, gazing down at the city he never had the chance to explore. His silhouette is faint, almost translucent, but unmistakable, a lone figure silhouetted against the vast expanse of the heavens. Others report hearing his anguished cries carried on the breeze, a haunting reminder of the life cut tragically short. Yet Elias is not the only presence said to haunt the area around the tower. Beneath its towering frame lies a patch of land steeped in sorrow, believed to be the resting place of several workers who died during the construction process. Historical records are sparse, but rumors persist of a catastrophic accident that claimed multiple lives, perhaps a scaffolding collapse or a fire that swept through the worksite. Whatever the cause, the victims' bodies were hastily buried nearby, their names lost to time. These spirits, too, refused to rest. Witnesses described seeing shadowy figures darting between the trees and bushes surrounding the base of the tower. Their movements are erratic, as if driven by some unseen force. Some appear to dig frantically at the earth with phantom hands, while others pace aimlessly, their forms flickering in and out of existence. Occasionally, they pause and turn toward passers-by, their hollow eyes filled with desperation and despair. Though no one knows exactly what they seek, many believe these spirits are searching for closure, a final acknowledgement of the lives they led and the sacrifices they made. Others speculate they are bound to the tower itself, trapped in an eternal cycle of unrest, doomed to relive the moments leading up to their deaths over and over again. Encounters with the supernatural have become increasingly common in recent years, drawing curious visitors and paranormal investigators alike. Late-night explorers recount eerie experiences, cameras malfunctioning without explanation, recording devices capturing disembodied voices pleading for help, and cold spots forming inexplicably in the warm Texas air. One particularly chilling account comes from a group of friends who decided to camp near the base of the tower. As they sat around a small fire sharing stories, they noticed movement in the darkness beyond the flames. Shadows danced unnaturally among the trees, twisting and contorting in ways that defied logic. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the night, causing the group to flee in terror. When they returned the next morning, they found their tent shredded and their belongings scattered, though no signs of animal activity could be detected. Even residents living near the tower report unsettling phenomena. Lights flicker erratically inside homes, doors open and close on their own, and faint whispers drift through walls at odd hours. Some claim to feel an oppressive weight pressing down on them whenever they venture too close to the structure, as if the very air is charged with malevolent energy. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Moonlight Tower continues to draw attention. It stands as both a testament to human ingenuity and a grim reminder of the cost of progress. Ghost tours frequently include the site as a highlight, weaving tales of tragedy and spectral encounters into their narratives. Paranormal enthusiasts armed with equipment scour the area, hoping to capture definitive proof of the otherworldly activity that permeates the space. For locals, the tower evokes mixed emotions. To some, it represents a cherished piece of Austin's heritage, a symbol of resilience and adaptability. To others, it serves as a sobering memorial to lives lost and dreams unfulfilled. Its presence looms large in the collective consciousness, a constant reminder that even the brightest lights cast the darkest shadows. Today, the Moonlight Tower remains a fixture of Austin's skyline, its towering silhouette etched against the horizon like a ghostly sentinel. Beneath its watchful gaze, the city thrives, yet the spirits of those who built it linger still, caught between worlds. Whether drawn by curiosity or a desire to connect with the past, those who dare approach the tower must tread carefully. For while it may shine brightly upon the living, it casts an eternal shadow over the dead, a haunting legacy written in iron and illuminated by moonlight. And there you have it, just a glimpse into the haunted history of Austin, Texas. From ghostly brides to restless soldiers, the city's past is anything but peaceful. The spirits of those who once lived here have left their mark, and their presence lingers, haunting the places they once called home. The eerie music begins to fade, and the screen fades into the channel's logo. Thank you for joining us on this terrifying journey. If you enjoyed tonight's haunting tales, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more chilling stories from the world of the unknown. Until next time, remember, some places are better left undisturbed.